Hey guys, it's Raul again, and today I am bringing you the Mean Girls book tag. This tag was created by Sarah Jane from The Book Life. I'm super excited to do it because Mean Girls is one of my favorite movies of all time. I've watched it so many times and I've kind of lost track as to how many times I've watched it, so I'm really excited to do this, so let's get started. So for those of you who don't know, the Mean Girls book tag is basically just 15 quotes from the movie and questions that kind of go with these different quotes. So I'm really excited because I remember all of these quotes and things from the movie, so let's do this. The first one is, "It's pronounced like Katie." Which fictional character's name did you get completely wrong? For this one, I chose Carlisle from the Twilight series. For the longest time, I called him Carlisle. I think it's because of that S that's in his name. I read all of these books before any of the movies came out, so eventually when I read all of the books and when watched the movie, I realized that I had been pronouncing his name completely wrong this entire time. I don't know why, because Carlisle isn't a hard name to pronounce. I don't know why I was pronouncing it as Carlisle, but in my head, because I saw that S, I felt like I needed to pronounce it, so definitely Carlisle. Sorry. Number 2 is, "She doesn't even go here." Which character would you like to place in a fictional world from another book or series? And for that, I chose one of my favorite female characters that I've read about, and that is Lisbeth Salander from the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series. And I would love her to kind of merge together with Mr. Robert Langdon from the Da Vinci Code series or in all of his other books, but I think that them two together would make an amazing team. Just the fact that they are both super smart and they figure out all of these different like historical mysteries and things. I think the two of them together would probably figure out the secrets to the universe, most likely. So, yeah. Next one is, "On Wednesdays we wear pink." Repetition, repetition. Which book gave you deja vu of another book whilst reading it? And for that, I have to go with 2 books from the same author, and that is Midnight by Dean Koontz and Lost Souls. That is book number 4 of the Frankenstein series. These books seem so similar. I read the Frankenstein series years ago, and then this one I recently read, I think it was last year, and they just seem so similar. They were both based on this kind of town where this like evil villain kind of starts brainwashing everybody, and everybody either gets brainwashed or killed in this town, and everyone's kind of trying to figure out what's going on and what's happening to the people and why people are disappearing and why people are all of a sudden just changing. And they both kind of had the same premise, so it was just like I was reading this one and just thinking about this book the entire time, and I feel like this one was done a lot better, so I don't know, there's lots of deja vu here. Next one is, "You all have to stop calling each other sluts and whores." It just makes it okay for guys to call you sluts and whores. Which book gave you the complete opposite of girl power feels? This, obviously, I'm not a girl, so I haven't gotten girl power feels reading any books. But a book that kind of got me frustrated with the female character because I felt like she wasn't as strong as I wanted her to be was the main character in Room by Emma Donoghue. This book is basically about a woman who gets captured in her early teens, I believe it is, and is trapped inside this room with her son. But I just felt like she just wasn't strong. Like she was too dependent on her son, who's 5, and she would just go into like these days where she was just completely depressed and she wasn't reacting to anything, and I just felt that she could have been a lot stronger than she was. Like, I'm so used to reading about female characters who are super kick butt and defend themselves, and this was just the complete opposite. I felt like she was a little weak and she was like too depressed, and I didn't enjoy the female character too much in this book. Next one is, "You go Glen Coco." Name a character you feel like you wanted to cheer on whilst reading. And for this book, I chose, to a lot of people's no surprise, Alina Starkov from the Grisha trilogy. I absolutely love this main character. I cheered her on the entire way through. She just got better and better as the books progressed, and I just felt like she was an absolutely amazing female character, and I absolutely loved her, and I definitely was cheering her on the entire time. And the next one is, "Get in, loser, we're going shopping." How long do you typically spend at a bookshop? That kind of depends. If I am completely broke, I would say probably like 45 minutes to an hour, just kind of looking around and browsing. If I have money and I'm planning on purchasing books, I could easily spend about an hour and a half to 2 hours at a bookstore, especially if my wife is with me, because then I kind of don't have to rush to get home. because she's with me, so we can kind of browse together. So yeah, that's definitely a good amount of time to browse at a store. The next one is, it's not my fault that you're like in love with me or something. Which character would have to get a restraining order on you if they were real? And for that I chose another character from the Twilight series, and that is Alice Cullen. Yeah, Alice Cullen. I had the biggest crush on Alice, still do to this day. Don't tell my wife, she's probably going to see this video. Yeah, sorry babe. Next one is, I can't help it that I'm popular. Which overhyped book were you cautious about reading? This one is also one that comes to no surprise to a lot of people because it was on a lot of people's list, and that is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I did enjoy the book, but it was kind of like the first book that I read because of all of the hype that was going on around it. So I was really cautious going into it because I was, I'm thinking to myself, what if it doesn't live up to the hype and everything? And yeah, it didn't live up to all of the hype, but I did still enjoy it, but it was one that I went in very cautiously because of all of the hype surrounding this book. Next one is, she's a life ruiner. She ruins people's lives. We all love Regina George. Name a villain you just love to hate. And for that, I am choosing Joffrey from the Game of Thrones series. For those of you who have watched Game of Thrones or have read any of these books, no, Joffrey sucks. He's horrible. I hate him. And every time he showed up in a chapter, I just wanted somebody to punch him. He's a bad guy. He's a bad dude. And he's bratty. Ugh. Next one is, I'm not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom. Your favorite fictional parents. I haven't really read tons of books with fictional parents, but this is one that I recently read that I really enjoyed the parents in it, and that was Paper Towns by John Green. I thought the parents were hilarious. They're kind of like your typical parents that are kind of just like oblivious to the things that their children like. And after they got Quentin the van, I laughed hysterically. It was hilarious. I loved them, and I thought they were really nice. Like the relationship between them and Quentin, the main character in this book, was just really nice, and I really enjoyed the parents in this book. Next one is That's So Fetch. Which series would you like to catch on? And for that, I chose another Dean Koontz book, and that is the Odd Thomas series. There are 8 books in this series. He's done writing the series, but I feel like this is a really, really well-written character. Odd Thomas is basically just this kid who sees ghosts, and the ghosts don't talk. Dead people don't talk to him. They kind of just like appear, and he kind of has to figure out what they want, and usually it's redemption or trying to figure out who murdered them and that kind of thing. It's really cool. I really like Odd Thomas. He really grows and changes throughout this series, so it's definitely a series that I would have liked more people to kind of read. I know Dean Koontz doesn't have the reputation of being the most amazing writer, but I do enjoy him, and I do enjoy this series a lot. So the next one is, how do you even begin to explain Regina George? Describe your ideal character to read about. I enjoy kind of the underdog, the person who kind of starts off as like a very quiet, reserved character and kind of just like, comes around and saves the day and grows and develops as a character and becomes very kick butt and becomes, that person that you kind of get really, really excited at the end when they do something awesome because they just started off so quiet. I like that. I like growth in a character, and I like kind of the underdog, So, yeah. Next one is, I just have a lot of feelings. What do you do when a book gives you a bad case of the feels? I go hug my wife, and I kiss her because I feel sad, so I go hug her. Next one is, nice wig, Janice. What's it made out of? Your mom's chest hair. Which character's one-liners would you love to claim for your own? And that, again, is another book that I just mentioned, but that is Odd Thomas from the Odd Thomas series. He's very insightful. Like, on top of, being super cool with seeing the ghosts and stuff, he's really insightful. Like, the things that he says in here are just very, I don't know, kind of brilliant, his quotes and things. So I really, really enjoy kind of his thought process and the way he views the world. I like him. He's cool. And the last one is, boo, you whore. Name a time a character's decisions made you roll your eyes. And for that, it's a recent book that I just finished reading a couple of days ago, and that was Feyre from A Court of Thorns and Roses. This girl just makes so many decisions in this book that you're just like, really? Come on. Come on. Really? No. Don't do that, Feyre. Don't go there. So, yeah. And yeah, guys, that is it for my Mean Girls book tab. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing this. These were great questions. This really brought back some memories from the movie, and I probably will go right now and watch it again because I enjoyed doing this and I haven't watched it in a while. So yeah, I will see you guys next time.